Joe Bagg here to talk about Vincent Buddy Cianci, one of the most famous people to ever come out of the state of Rhode Island. Oftentimes you hear movie stars say when someone has just passed away, oh, we were going to do a movie together, we were going to do a scene together. I am actually in a movie with Buddy Cianci. 2 movies with Buddy Cianci, Derek reminds me, 2 Derek Shapiro movies, and they are Horror Night 2 and No Lips, No Teeth Part 2. Oh, Part 3?
Yeah.
Part 3, okay. And in the most recent one, just a couple weeks ago, in Horror Night Part 2, I played the mayor of the city where the murders occur, and in the scene that we did, I'm looking into the mirror, getting ready to go out, and I'm talking to myself, and at one point I say, what would Buddy Cianci do? And this is, I just heard of him passing away Thursday, and on the newscast, the person didn't even say the name, and I knew who it was going to be. That's how ubiquitous Buddy Cianci was. I've known of him, of course, I've lived in New England most of my life. I've known of him forever. Everybody in New England has. He was, there are cliches that come to mind. One cliche is, he was a character. And usually when people say that, they're trying to think of something good to say about something, but I'm really serious about this. He was a character. He was one of those, that man lived a life. He was a personality. All these words are cliches, but boy, they sure applied to Buddy Cianci. And he not only lived life to the fullest, he lived life his way, and he did things that such a prominent politician would ordinarily never do. I'm talking not only in terms of kindnesses to people and good things he did for people, I'm talking about things where he just did what he felt he should do without thinking of the consequence of his political career, what people would think of him. Some of those things were things he was mocked for that people thought were big mistakes, such as assaulting the man who was having an affair with his wife. To me, that was an example of he just acted like a normal person. He wasn't thinking of what's this going to do to my political career. And that was Buddy Cianci. You know, I'm speaking to somebody who never actually met him. I was on the verge of meeting him. We were going to do some scenes, additional scenes together where we appeared together, but I never got to meet him. He was a very good friend of the producer of these films I'm talking about, Derek Shapiro, and Derek knew him very well, and Derek showed me a lot of conversations on video that he had with Buddy and so on. And from that, and from all I knew of Buddy Cianci, I'll tell you my main impression of Buddy Cianci. I wouldn't say this about many people. He was one of the few famous people, and he, believe me, he was famous. One of the few famous people I ever knew that thought of himself as just Buddy Cianci. He didn't seem to have a consciousness of, oh, I was mayor of an important city for many years, I'm a big politician, I'm famous, I'm well known. Unlike some notorious New England politicians, one of whom has the nickname, do you know who I am? But that wasn't Buddy Cianci. You got the idea that he was just Buddy Cianci. It came through loud and clear. I've talked to, hung out with famous people and well-known politicians, and when people said about these people things like, oh, he had the common touch, still, you definitely got the idea that these people were very self-conscious about that common touch. And while they were displaying that common touch, they were very well aware of their prominence, their celebrity, that they were reaching down to the little people and displaying a common touch. This wasn't Buddy Cianci at all. He was just Buddy Cianci, and he never. I would bet my life on it. He never thought of himself as anything but another person, just like his neighbors, and all the cliches apply. He was who he was, and in those 74 years, I'm telling you, that man lived a life, and he was like a fictional character from a famous author like Charles Dickens or Leo Tolstoy or one of those people, and one of those people that cannot be replaced, and you can truly say there will never be another like him. And this is Joe Bagg signing off, just telling you what I know about Buddy Cianci, a great guy.